Hey guys, can you hear me? I don't know who's on the panel. I think it's Erica. I think you might be on here. They asked me to moderate it. So if you can hear me, I am going to moderate it and have somebody start first if they want to. Obviously not yet. Did you hear me say that, Erica?
Uh-oh, look at this crew.
I know.
I just heard you now.
Okay. Corinna asked me to moderate. So what'd you say?
Great, we're done, thank you.
I just saw that multi-unit that you have, and you have that multi-unit in Valley Brook. It's like the only only multi-unit available in Delaware County. Built in 19.
It's gonna need a special buyer.
Yeah, how firm are they on that price?
Well, I mean, it needs some work. It really has great potential.
Yeah.
Just needs its own septic and well, and 2 units.
I saw it. I
School
might talk to that.
district. You
I might
looking
talk
to
about it so we could do another deal and it can fall through.
buy? You know what? Keep our fingers crossed. I got another week and that deal might settle. Still,
Yeah.
I only sold it 4 times.
Oh my God. Okay, just so everybody that's joining, I'm going to moderate. I'm just waiting for everybody to get on. So I know Stephanie Chambers, Erica. I don't know if Stephanie's on here. I'll just let between John and Erica and Stephanie figure out who wants to go first with what they're going to talk about. But we were saying maybe just talk about 10 minutes and leave like 5 minutes open for questions, and then we'll go to the next person and just have general questions at the end. But we still have a few minutes.
Cool.
So where are you at? Are you at home, Jim?
I am.
You just have that on your wall behind you?
Look at that, huh? Professional. Only
Hi,
the best.
Mahar. No, Mahar has like a beautiful scenery behind him.
Yeah,
Hey, you guys.
he's
Happy
got a
New Year,
hookah.
everybody.
He has a hookah in the background.
I do. Hold on. let me
I know
turn
you
that on. How you guys doing?
What's
Good, how
up?
are you?
Good, good, good.
You know, Mahar was my first like thing that I ever did. That was the first thing I ever did. I brought that rental tenant to you. I had never done
Yep.
anything in the business at all.
Yep, and you did a
I
phenomenal
don't know
job.
what you're talking about.
You did
I'm
really
still
well
friends
with
with
it.
them. I'm still friends with them. They moved back though. They moved back to wherever they were from.
Right. Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yep. Good people.
Yeah. Okay, so I see Stephanie got on. Stephanie, let me know when you can hear me. Corinna, man, she suckers me into everything. She's so cute. Today's her birthday. I bought her lunch, but I felt bad.
Let us celebrate her birthday.
I did. She's like, can you moderate this? Can Stephanie Chambers hear me? No. How's everybody's New Year? Good?
It's going.
Yeah, same. All right. 2 more minutes.
So this is about what? Lead generating?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. You're supposed to be teaching a class.
Oh, I just thought you were asking for opinions. I'm not teaching anything.
All right. I'm waiting. Stephanie, I see her, but I don't think she can hear me. Just to fill her in. Erica, you have a nice little setup behind you. Where are you?
Oh, that's all fake.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
need
nice.
that. I want to work there in your fake little background. Okay. Maybe now, Stephanie, can you hear me?
Yes, sorry. I don't have a thing on my computer. I have to use my phone. So I have 2 screens so I can see you all on the big screen. And then that's my little
That's awesome. I love it. I like where you're working out of today too. So Corinna asked me to moderate. So I was just going to give all, I know we have, what time is it? 2:29. Hi, everybody. We have John Jam, Stephanie Chambers, and Erica Wright and myself just talking about 2021 lead gen. So we were just going to do about 10 minutes per person. Obviously, I think it's better when people can ask you questions right after you speak. And you can just kind of go into your, I know that you guys kind of all have a topic that you're going to talk about. I'll finish it off if you guys don't mind, but just I'll start the conversation just as people get on here a little bit. I know for me, lead gen for 2021 starts, my plan starts in like October, November. And this year for me, it was more about, all right, stop trying to like come up with all these ideas and start executing on what you're doing and what you have going on so that some of this stuff actually comes to fruition. So a good little quote that I saw that I thought we start out with is like, a habit must be established before it can be improved. So I think as we learn all these new tricks, the biggest thing is how are we going to turn these into things that we actually do that are consistently getting us business, and making them systematic and kind of being able to roll it into our process so that as we get busy in the spring, the things that we're thinking about now are operating without us so much having to drive the bus. So that's kind of where my head is at as I learn all these new ideas for the year. But out of Erica, Jammer Jam, and Stephanie, who wants to go first? Jam, you're it.
I'll go first to get out of the way. Okay.
Okay.
So for me, for this year, other than just for lead gen with my database and sphere of influence, I'm going to go back to the thing that really got my career going that I lost sight of a little bit is farming. So for me, when I started a business, I was much younger and I didn't have a sphere. And where I was, they really wanted us to start farming. And for me, that was the best source of income. I picked an area that I grew up in, I felt most comfortable in, and in a price range, of course, starting out. So for me, I think it's important you farm where you live. You're familiar with the area and it's at a price range you feel comfortable with. And you don't have to start out, you have to plan your budget. I realized that you don't have to start out with 500 to 1,000 homes. You can start off like I did. I picked 2 blocks of like 150 homes, row homes they were. And as time went on, I was getting listings. I was becoming the professional in the neighborhood. And at that point, I expanded the farm area to like another 100 to 150 and kept growing until it was like 600, 700 homes because the return on investment was good. And the turnover ratio was great. So for me, farming was awesome in the sense that even when I got more confident, I would pick areas in Havertown, which was a much bigger price range from where I came from. And I just find that just driving the farm on Saturdays was the best for me. That's when I would put up the sold signs on Saturdays. It would be an excuse to see the neighbors if they were cutting the grass. If they were doing something around the yard, it's my opportunity to stop and talk to them. So that was the best source of business. And that's what I want to get back to doing again this year, more consistently. And it takes more than just one mail out a month. You really have to, I'm not saying 100 mail outs, but for me, when you listed, just sold, you can always find a reason to send something to the farm. Even if you're a new agent, you can just send out something like my company and I, or our office, just listed this, and you can give us statistics. So there's always a reason. And that was one of the best sources of business for me.
Jam, what do you do like once you get in that farm and like you said, now you're like the expert and you're in that farm? Because for me, it's like then Thelma lives in this house, so and so lives in this house. Who's ready to like go kiss the Lord and like all that. Like, so what do you do to sort of keep track of everybody in your farms to make sure that you're kind of building the relationships outside of just the mailings?
So like I said, driving the area, and one of the things that was great for me, I got to know in both farms the mail carrier. They were the best source of, one of us, hey, so-and-so just passed away and I'm speaking to the daughter who lives over here. And that was a good source to keep, to find out what's going on. And also, even if there was a listing that came up on my farm that I did not get, I was one of the first to preview the home. This way, even if it sells, you'll always know the inside of the home for the most part. And you're able to also compare when you're giving prices. So even if I didn't get the listing, I'd find a way to get in there with whether whether it was a broker's open or I previewed it. So just getting to know and driving around the area and even introducing yourself, it was great. It's great to do that.
Anybody have questions for Jam?
That's a great idea, John. Previewing those listings. Do you do anything to kind of a stacking effect in a farm? I know I'm not even sure Facebook if you can get that granular, but like I thought I heard before. I don't know if they changed it because Facebook gave out everybody's information. Can you like actually farm with Facebook to an actual development? Like, can you get that specific with Facebook targeted ads? I don't know if anybody here knows that.
John, I don't know that. That's one of the things I was going to talk to Jeff about, if we could do that. I understand we can do farming postcards through command, but
What if we
Yeah,
can
with the new housing rules, we can't actually target a specific community. We only can pick an area and do a 15-mile radius.
well, there is that, isn't that website next door? You can maybe go on and post things.
You can do next door, yeah, and that's in the neighborhood that you actually live in.
Right.
So we do that with Chester Springs.
Okay.
Yeah, Nextdoor is great. I like happened upon that a few years ago, and like from whatever, just my neighbors, I'm the #1. I get voted the award like every year for the neighborhood, like for the #1 agent or whatever. I don't know about their advertising platform. I feel like it's not ready yet, but you do get, if you have a business page on there, you do get to post like some content, whatever. So I just posted on there the other day, like, because it's my farm. Again, it's another way that I'm hitting these people. I do the same thing. I hit them in the mail. They're seeing me on social media. They're on my email list now, because once you kind of get them in your database. But that next door, like I was able to post like, hey, just so you know, we in our little neighborhood, I've sold 9 of the listings and brought 4 of the buyers in the past 12 months. So I obviously know our neighborhood really well. If you're curious about your values, you want to know if you can pull equity out of your home for refinancing or anything real estate related, let me know. I can always keep you up to date. And I had like 4 people reach out. They were like, oh yeah, we see your signs. Like, yeah, could you put us on that list, or can you let us know the value, like pop by? So that was a good like freebie, like updating those sites. I think that's worth it.
Sure. And you just can't send one thing out a month. You really, even anything, even in between just listed and just sold, just, proof of your success piece of things you've done, the sales. And usually I'll start off the beginning of the year with a Happy New Year letter, list all the sales in the neighborhood. And I won't give the particular price on each, specific price on each, but I'll give a range of what things sold for, and the average, list price to sale price ratio, and just a little blurb in there if you're interested in what your house is worth. And sometimes even during the course of the year might be a great time to refinance. Just give them some information like that. But driving through the neighborhood and getting to know the neighbors, that was the key for me. I feel better meeting someone in person than just calling over the phone. For me, I'd rather see that person. I would want them to see me, and you just get a better. It was just better for me, face to face. Even if someone's just cutting the grass, just stop by and some kind of smart remark as a joke to get to break the ice. But it always worked great.
Can you tell us more about what the next door thing is?
I haven't been on that in a while, but the next door is, I think, it's a website that, and Erica, you might be able to elaborate on this, but I can get on there and link to my Marydale Farms and Pin Oak, which we're right next to each other. And then people will just talk, hey, does anyone know a carpenter for this? And they're always putting something out in the neighborhood. And then there are areas, I believe, that you can post about businesses.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's a community website. So it's just neighbors in the area that write a post, whether they need help with supplies, or they're selling something, or what's going on in the area. It's just really just your community putting posts up and letting you know what's happening in the area.
is it a Facebook page?
No, it's Nextdoor owns their own website.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's like an app like Facebook, but for your neighborhood.
Right.
Okay.
Now with Facebook, I mean, you can do advertise in different zip codes, but I don't know if you can be specific on neighborhoods.
Yeah, you can't target anymore. Yeah, that's against regulations.
So stuffing mailboxes, but
Yes, true.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, John Jam.
Sure.
And Erica, Stephanie, does anybody have a preference? Want to go next?
I'll go next. That's fine.
Okay.
So I am going to, my big thing is scripts, like know your scripts, because they're going to save your butt if you do know them. And I'm going to work really hard on, I'm really strong with my buyer scripts, but not as strong with my seller scripts. There's areas of improvement there. So I'm probably going to focus more this year on just improving that side of it. But I can't tell you how many times I know lead generation, like cold calling and all of that is not fun. And I can't tell you how many times that stupid little drunk monkey was in my head, like, you're going to bother this person if you call them. But if I have that thought, I usually go, okay, if I just make this one phone call, it could be, a new front door or, things I want to buy. And I play that in my head. Like, if I make this phone call and it ends up to the closing table, what can I buy? What can I get myself with this one phone call? And so I can't tell you how many times I felt that way and I called anyway. And they were like, Steph, it's so nice to hear from you. Thank you so much for calling. Like, yes, I'm going to get started in the next 6 months. Like, thank you for keeping me top of mind. So I would just say, like, make sure you're doing those little touches, even just to say, hey, just making sure you don't need anything from me today. Hey, how's it going? How'd your holidays go? Is there anything I could do for you? They go a long way, and you'd be surprised how many people just kind of trickle back on their own and say, I'm ready right now. Let's go. Let's get started. And you're like, oh shit, I didn't think that was going to happen, but it does. And so just be sure to and if anybody needs help with scripts or wants to bounce ideas, like maybe they got an objection, they're like, I don't really know how to handle this. They want to shoot me an email, call me, whatever. I'm happy to bounce ideas off your guys' heads and see if we can come up with a solution to get you the listing or the buyer appointment. So yeah, that's about it.
And so when you're doing your scripts, how are you planning out who you're going to call?
I have a list. I task myself every day on a certain amount of people to call. I try to aim around the 70 or higher mark because I'm hand dialing everything. But if you're just getting started, just be sure you're following up with people who are, on the warmer side at least once every 2 weeks just to check in. But yeah, I usually task myself, and if it's a brand new, like you just talked to this person and say you ran into them at Home Depot, you got the lead at Home Depot, whatever. You just talk to this person, and they're like, yeah, I want to talk to you. You're going to call them almost every single day for a week. And then you just kind of sporadically even that out if they're not getting back. But stay on them and they will come back. As long as you're, checking in, saying hi, and just being there to help overall. Is just coming from contribution and making sure that you're coming from a place of, I'm here to help, not I'm here to sell you a house or sell your house.
Steph, do you sprinkle text messages in there as well? Is that part of the whole thing?
I love texting people. People love to text me. So I get my leads from realtor.com, Zillow, those. I call, text, email right away. Call, text, email, call, text, email. And I usually ask a question. And when you're texting somebody, try to end every sentence with a question. Try to end your text message with a question. So it forces a response. And even if you don't get a response, double text them and be like, hey, just let me know, with a smiley face or something. And they'll just, a lot of times you need that double text and people will get back to you saying oh, I'm busy right now, follow up with me next week. Or they'll give you, something to grab onto that you can kind of take away from it.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Erica, in her pretty office.
Thank you. So for me, I am all about systems. If anybody's met me, I have highly organized checklists. That's my deal. when it comes to any follow-up with our team, so we do a lot of Facebook advertising. So we'll do Facebook advertising. Now we're doing it through command. So everything goes through commands. Lead will come through command. They get tagged, and then that tag will create a trigger to a smart plan. So I'm all about making sure things are tagged correctly and have smart plans. So during December and during January, I'm going through all our leads, making sure everybody's tagged correctly and everybody is on a current smart plan that's relevant to their lead and what's the next steps. So I think it's really important that you're calling people. A big stat is that 48% of people never follow up with the lead after the second call. So I'm making sure that we call at least 7 to 8 times within a smart plan. I'm making sure that there's text in the smart plan. I'm making sure that there's email. And email is always the last step. It's always going to be your drip. But email, phone, text, we do actually postcards. So we'll do if we have their address, if it's a listing, we'll get their address, we'll send out a postcard. And with some people, we'll even do a Facebook Messenger if we have their social media information. So those are all the ways that we follow up, and we do that, again, it's consistently. You can't do it as a one-off, like Don was saying. You have to compound everything that you do. It's going in every morning and having your task list set up based on your tags that you have set up. So I'm really focused on tagging everybody correctly and creating those smart plans. One big thing that we're also doing is on our intro email, it's a video instead of just a regular text. So that way people get to see you, like John was like, he's better at seeing people. People relate to you if they get to see you. So whether you're doing a video text message or just a video email, that's one big thing that's going to help set you apart from everybody else.
Great.
Erica, can you tell a little bit, because I love tagging and all that too. Can you give me a little bit of an idea about some of your tags, and then just give me a basic like hot buyer smart plan, or like what you're finding most effective in that way?
So we have, a multitude of tags, but based on our smart plan. So we have like a hot buyer A, B, and C, and that's 30, 60, 90. So we know what's our pipeline. So I can go in and look at an agent's leads A and walk through them and see, okay, this is your business for the next 30 days. This is your business for the next 60, 90, so forth. So those are certain tags that we have. Then we have tags based on if we're farming. So we're actually doing a farming campaign with our lender. So people are tagged for that. So that way I'm going through those leads and farming those leads. We have tags for what we call our nurture. That's a long-term drip with someone who said, hey, they're interested within a year or two. So it's a different call plan because we're not calling them as frequently. We have a right sizing program because we focus on a lot of seniors. So people are tagged right sizing. So the smart plan goes to right sizing. So again, all these tags relates to the type of smart plans that I'm pushing out. If it's a Facebook lead, they are getting an email, text, and a call right away. And then they're getting an email every week. They're going on the bi-weekly smart plan that we have automatically through command. And then they're getting phone calls at the very beginning stage, at least 8 times in the first week, and then they'll taper down every month. I actually have a little thing that I can send to people, like 30 days of email, text, and phone calls too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if you could put it in the chat or send it.
Yeah.
Hey, Erica, you might have already said this in the beginning. You're doing all this through command?
Yes, command just became what they call teamified. So that's what I've been focusing on December and January, is moving we were doing it through MailChimp, moving everything over to command. So as soon as you trigger put a tag in, it'll trigger a smart plan, which has been great. So I can automatically put someone on a smart plan. The next step that they're looking to do is when you're creating the Facebook ad, it'll say tag that person as X, Y, and Z. So then it's automatically doing everything for you. Because right now I have to go back and tag them when the lead comes in, but it will still trigger that campaign. But in the future, what they're looking to do is create a tag automatically attached to your Facebook ad that you create within command. So everything's automatic. You can be on a beach somewhere and your lead will automatically get a text message from you saying, hey, thanks for submitting your information, or whatever you have in your smart plan.
So did you have to, how did you set that up? Is that, so a tag automatically triggers? I mean, is there some
A smart
sort of?
plan. Yeah, so when you're in your smart plan on command, at the very top, it'll say create trigger,
Oh, cool
and
bean.
then you'll add your tag. Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
So it won't do it retroactively, but it'll do it for anyone that you future tag.
Moving forward.
Correct.
Yeah, cool.
So Erica, where did you find it was a good resource for you to learn some of this stuff with command? Because they're always constantly like changing.
Yeah, so I actually am in a MAPS group, so I get lessons every week on Wednesdays for command training.
Anybody else have questions for Erica? All right, so I'll wrap this up here. So I was thinking about this. I was going to talk about kind of like where my lead gen plan for 2021 is. And then also what I said is just about being intentional about it and actually executing it and making it, like Erica just said, systematic for yourself so that it continues, even when you're busy or even when you can't, dedicate. Like, this is a strange time of year for us. We do tend to like organize and plan. It's not going to look like this in April. So for me, what I've been trying to do is realize, be intentional, and also know where my weaknesses are and what am I going to put in place to compensate for those weaknesses, like, to make it systematic so that it still goes. Because reality is, I sometimes am going to fall short. Like, it's just how it is. So that's what I've been working on. I've been trying to define what do I need to do for my lead gen plan. So for me, for 2021, I'm going to focus heavily on my sphere and database. And I decided what I was going to do based off what worked for me last year. So I think taking a look back and figuring out what did work for you is probably one of the best things to do. So for me, it was going to be getting into my sphere and my database, making sure, kind of touching on what Erica said, that everybody is properly imported. Like, I do the same thing. I did not know about that trigger thing, but everybody's on their smart plans. Everybody's there so that every day I just know who I have to call and talk to. Try to figure out like what sort of value I can give them. So, everything that I want to send out, like how much value is in that, to the point where I'm showing that I'm investing in them and that they're possibly going to invest in me. So that's a lot of what I did, was just come up with some better content this year. And then I wanted to focus on all of our listings from last year to lead generate off of. So obviously we have a plan to lead generate off of our future listings. Like, we mail out, we do just, all the stuff that we do. We try to touch the neighborhood, you market them on social media, all that. But last year was such a great year for our listings, and they all probably sold for probably some of the highest price points that the neighborhoods had seen. So I thought, how can I go back into those listings and, make myself relevant again? So what I did was pull all the lists. We've already had them. I usually do the 10, 10, 20 or whatever it is. So they've gotten mailers from me. They've gotten emails from me. But we pulled all the lists with the phone numbers, and I did the slide broadcast for all of the houses that we sold last year and my farms. So they all are getting voicemails from me in their thing that say, hey, just so you know, I don't know if you saw us in your neighborhood last year. We sold maybe 3 homes, or we sold 1 home. We were able to get top dollar for the house. If you're interested at all this year, let me know. If you want, we can send you a value report out. Same thing, like if you're looking to refinance, we have connections. Just basically looking to be a resource in real estate. So I slide broadcasted all. I'm in the process of doing all of the houses that we sold last year, and that's been great. I've been getting a lot of people calling me back, especially in my farms, like just appointments, like, come over, can you tell us what this is or what that is? And I find you get like a lot of referrals from that. So that's been working. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I'll try to make sure that you guys are like pre-qualifying everybody you talk to too, because nobody's got time to waste anymore. And people will drag you from point A to point B and back again and waste your time. And just make sure that you're asking the questions, asking why they're moving, asking, just like knowing their purpose for wanting to make the move so that you're not just blowing time with one person when you could be focusing on another one that's actually going to end up at the settlement table. Like that's a big thing that I run into on a regular basis is people just like to kick tires or open doors, they're saying in the real estate world.
Yeah, it's tough with buyers right now for sure. So anyway, to wrap it up, I think the biggest thing that I've been trying to think about too is just where am I strong? And like everybody has strengths in business. Like Steph, it seems like you're really good on the phone. John, you're really good with relationships. Erica, you're so good with social media and systems. Play into your strengths. Like I'm thinking, how can I play into my strengths and build habits around those strengths so that I'm consistently lead generating throughout the year? So I really like this story. I thought it was pretty cool. Like everybody like goes in with full-blown intentions, like they're all in, they're gonna call 100 people a day. It's the same thing, they're gonna go to the gym and they're gonna eat right, and they're like gung-ho, and then everybody fizzles out because most of us cannot keep that level of consistency all the time. They cannot keep that high. The people who have the most success are the ones that start small and build on it. And that's like going back to the beginning when I said a habit must be established before it can be improved. So I think lead generating, a big part of it is deciding where your habits are going to be. So like there was a story about this guy that lost 100 pounds and he literally for 6 weeks just went to the gym every day for 5 minutes. And he just at that point was just trying to get in the habit of showing up. So for me, lead gen is also a lot about like, where are you going to show up consistently? And how can you make it the easiest way for yourself? Like add a system, make it part of your process, be consistent. And then what I'm learning too is like, you have to own it and be accountable. Like I used to be like, oh, I'm just not good at it. Like you're talking about, I don't like to call or whatever. Well,
No one does.
own it. Like Steph said, think of it as your new car. Think of it as, you know, whatever. And then I would say start simple. Start as simple as you can. Don't act like you're gonna, you know, become this huge cold caller if you've never called before. But if you're great at relationships, work on making a new one every day. You know what I mean? Keep it simple. Like I know for me, I have all my appointments that I want to try to hit this year in a marble jar. I'm gonna take a marble out every time I hit the appointment. The other thing for us for accountability, just for me, it's like as simple as staying on my Google Calendar and keeping my tasks on and like planning the day that I'm going to go on social media every week and talk to new people. What else? We do a weekly recap with my admin and I, where we go over all of our database and leads so that we can actually like make sure nothing is falling through the cracks. You know what I mean? Kind of get what it is. So I don't know if it's necessarily relevant or if that matters to anybody, but I found for me that was like less about coming up with more ideas this year and more about figuring out how I'm going to execute like really well on the stuff that I'm good at.
That's it. I agree.
All right. Anybody have anything else? Anybody else on the call do anything that they really like find to be working for them, or, you know?
I am planning on hitting a lot of the expires from last year, expires and withdrawals.
I didn't know anything expired.
Oh, no, last year, dude, about a year. Go back a year and a half.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
That's
That's a good point, though.
That's where I'm headed.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
I made my living years back, just expires, withdrawals, and
Oh, yeah.
FSBOs. So again,
Yeah.
back to your point, M, is expand on what you know and what you know best and what you do best. So find your niche.
Yeah, find it. Pick a couple things and just stay consistent. Because I feel like that's the key. But anyway, I don't want to keep everybody unless everybody wants people to keep talking until 3:30. Is that what we're supposed to be on here till? I'm asking you, broker.
I would,
Neither confirm nor deny.
You know, you can never know. You can never confirm or deny anything that John Patrick.
Right. There's no absolutes.
He would be the perfect politician. All right. Well, it was really nice getting to know some of you. I had never met you before. So, Erica, I'll be knocking on your door for those smart plans, like for sure. And yeah, Happy New Year. Go get it.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks
It
for all
was
the
helpful.
information, guys.
Good info.
thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.